Welcome to today's podcast, where we're diving into a topic that affects millions of people every day: social media and mental health. Social media has transformed the way we connect, communicate, and even perceive ourselves, but it's not all sunshines and rainbows. Today, we'll explore both the positive and negative impacts, hear real stories, and examine what research says about how platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook shape our minds. By the end, we hope to provide a balanced perspective and maybe even some strategies for healthier social media use. Let's hear Aixa's perspective.
Hello, everyone. Let's start with the bright side. Social media isn't just cat videos and trending dances. It can actually provide meaningful connections. Studies show that platforms help people stay in touch with friends and family and create a sense of belonging, especially for teens who might feel isolated otherwise. I recently read a story about a high school student, Mia, who struggled with anxiety and depression. She joined a mental health forum on Instagram and connected with peers experiencing similar struggles. Through these connections, she found encouragement and shared coping strategies. That sense of "I'm not alone" is priceless. Social media is also a stage for self-expression and creativity. Teens can share art, music, writing, or photography, which boosts confidence and helps them explore identity. One survey found that young creators who share their work online report higher levels of self-esteem and personal satisfaction. It's like having a digital canvas to experiment and be seen. And speaking of being seen, posting about real emotions can validate feelings. Teens often relate to content from peers experiencing similar highs and lows. Seeing someone their age struggle with anxiety or celebrate small victories sends a message. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. Finally, social media can inspire positive behavior. From fitness journeys to study motivations and daily affirmations, teens are exposed to content that encourages self-improvement. Platforms also make mental health information more accessible. Teens can watch videos on coping strategies, recognize symptoms, or even discover hotlines if they need help. This openness normalizes seeking help, something that was difficult to achieve before the digital era. Thank you.
And now here, a few next few slides, we have a few like percentages and specific testimonies from positive side of social media. In this first slide, you see they made a study in the United States from ages 13 17, and they just interviewed students of if they had overall, I guess, more positive or negative impacts. And as shown here, it was more positive, specifically about the people meeting and having greater connections through social media. And it would be from like people who maybe communicating when we can't be together. Maybe they live farther apart, other sides of the country. And overall, most kids would say that it brings them together, which is a big positive. And add more commentary.
And it supports them through tough times, which is really hard if they don't have other people in their lives who are going through similar things. So social media can be really helpful for those who are going through difficult times.
Right. This next one talks about more people gaining more overall advice and feeling more connected through social media. It kind of builds off the last one, but it could be from people maybe going to like YouTube, maybe specifically be like beauty channels for the girls, or the guys going to like gym content and feel overall more motivated, and also I guess connected to people who have similar experiences that they may not be able to find with them in person, and getting great advice and building great communities with one another.
And it can create an authentic place for everyone to share similar goals and ideas and what they're going through with others. Social media can also foster unhealthy addictions. Addressing describes addictive use of social media where teens feel compelled to stay online for hours, often neglecting physical activity and real-world interactions. This sedentary lifestyle can lead to further health problems like obesity and fatigue. Then there's the exposure to violent or harmful content. Teens can come across graphic videos, dangerous trends, or extremist content. For example, some viral challenges have resulted in real-world injury or trauma. The sheer availability of uncensored content creates a risk environment that did not exist before.
Building off what Alexa said, here's a very tragic story of a 14-year-old girl named Molly Russell. She like every normal kid the age. had access to social media. But unfortunately, she was receiving a lot of hate through Instagram and Pinterest, which ultimately caused her to self-harm and led to suicide. I don't know, Alexa, if you could add more to this.
And then this is just one of thousands of stories that have a negative effect from the bad comments in social media. But many people face that in their lives and have to find a way to handle it or ask for help.
Yeah, and continuing, kind of going back to one of the positive slides, in the US, it was overall more positivity, but it's not the same around the whole world. Here, we have a study from Australia, and more young people were having greater negative effects online, especially recently, with how much of social media has grown, specifically in TikTok and Instagram, compared to the United States, and a lot more people were receiving a lot more threats and abuse.
And this just shows how there's many victims that just fall to the negativity that comes with social media. But teens now have become a little too obsessed with it. But there's very bad negative effects that come with being on social media and being on the internet.
Now, moving to our last point. It starts at a very young age. I think like more and more as years have gone by, it's much more easier to receive access from maybe kids receiving their own phones at a younger age, or just borrowing the parent's phone, and maybe parents not being too aware of what they're looking at and how often they are. And people can become addicted from ages of as early as 8, and people spend hours communicating through social media, which would lead to negatively being binded and controlled by social media at a young age. And Alexa, you want to continue?
And this just has become one of the problems of children being able to access internet this young, that instead of being outside and playing and having fun, they become too obsessed with trying to be perfect or trying to fix themselves in a way that they have seen on the internet.
Yes, thank you. If Jada can move forward.
Okay, thank you, Alexa. And again, thank you, Miguel. It's clear social media is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it can offer support, creativity, and education, but on the other, it can increase anxiety, depression, and risky behavior. So, how do we make sense of it all? Here's the middle ground. Social media, like everything else in life, is beneficial in moderation but harmful in excess. It can provide social support, boost mood through creative content, and help maintain long distance relationships. At the same time, overuse exposes users to cyberbullying, unhealthy social comparison, and addictive patterns. The key lies in mindful usage. Research suggests that taking breaks, setting limits, and curating one's feed can protect mental health. Parents also play a crucial role in guiding teens towards safer online spaces. It's about teaching balance rather than forbidding social media entirely. One practical approach is scheduling screen free times during the day. Another is focusing on content that uplifts rather than compares. Teens and adults, too, benefit from simply basking, taking moments offline to reflect, relax, and engage with the world with them. Social media isn't inherently good or bad, it's a tool. How we use it determines its impact on our mental health.
Yeah, and building off that, Jada, as you said, it's very important to do moderation. And here we have a specific story of a girl named Keegan Lee. The 10th grader, so pretty young, but she realized that she was spending, as you can see, 6 hours a day. She couldn't go, oh, she was spending 6 hours a day on her phone, constantly checking it. And it was from social medias from Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram. And she didn't really notice what was the problem with that until she decided to take a week off. And she realized how often she was going to her phone and how like even in not taking a week off, she realized how much you can do without your phone and how beautiful things can be.
All right. Thank you, Aixa, and thank you, Miguel. But as much as social media offers support and inspiration, it's not all positive. For every uplifting story, there's another teen struggling with anxiety, low self esteem, or online harassment. Let's hear Alexa's perspective.
Thanks, Jada. Social media has become a dark side that can be ignored. One major issue is social comparison. Teens scroll through perfect lifestyles online and start measuring themselves against unrealistic standards. This can lead to anxiety, depression, and a drop in low self-esteem. Think about a teenager seeing filtered photos of classmates living seamlessly flawless lives. It's natural to feel like they're falling behind. Cyberbullying is another serious concern. According to HAM, exposure to online harassment increases the risk of depression and suicidal ideation among youth. I want to highlight a video from eSafety about cyberbullying, which shows the kinds of harmful comments teens face. Anonymous trolls often target vulnerable individuals, leaving emotional scars that aren't easy to erase.
I'm moving to you, Jada.
Yeah, I would say that honestly, just taking a break can often help with our mental health and even get it a lot, make us a lot more productive than we think.
Yeah, then moving on to our final example of middle ground is it's so easy to get addicted to social media nowadays. I kind of go a little more specific on TikTok. Yeah, I can even find myself too. There's no like I guess end to it because you could constantly just keep scrolling, right? And it's just an infinite loop. So it's like maybe I'm gonna I'm gonna lay down, kind of rest, and go on my phone TikTok for like 10 minutes, right? But then next thing you know, a couple hours have passed. And there's a specific student right here, Rebecca Q, that she kind of specifies that it could be kind of scary because you don't know how much time you are spending. And it's very important to, I guess like how the other girl did, kind of take a step back and like really realize how much time you're truly putting in. It's not necessarily harmful to spend time scrolling, right? Unless you make it harmful and overly spend and don't get stuff in your day done. I don't know, you want to end it off, Jada?
Yeah, definitely. I've had many experiences where I would just want to take a 10-minute break, either scrolling on TikTok or looking on Instagram. And next thing I know, 2, 3 hours passed and I got way too distracted. So definitely just taking a break and just, putting screen time on your phone definitely will help with, getting your priorities straight. So,
Mhm.
what's the takeaway? Social media is a mirror reflecting both our best and worst tendencies. It can inspire, connect, and educate, or it can pressure, isolate, and harm. By learning to navigate it mindfully, we can maximize the benefits while minimizing the risk.
It's important to seek out the communities and content that uplift you. But at the same time, we need to be aware of the dangers and be protected in our mental space.
And remember, balance is everything. Our mental health is worth the effort online and offline. Thank you guys for listening. Stay connected, but stay mindful.